So today's question comes from my buddy Ron. He's in the military. So we're going to talk about making your resume in the military if you have military experience and how to apply it to a civilian role. By the way, if you don't know who I am, I'm Eric DiGiovanni, founder and CEO of Diamo. We're a brand copywriting agency where we help brands get their messaging right, but we also help people make their resumes, and we've helped countless people already get interviews at big companies. So let's dive right into it. So his first question is it good to tailor your resume to a specific job? Like, is saying I was an infantryman in the Army, but applying for an IT job useless? So he's essentially asking, should he put the fact that he's an infantryman on his resume if he's applying for an IT job? And my answer to that is it depends. So first part of the question is, should I tailor my resume? Yes. Tailor your resume to every job you apply to, unless you're automating this and you're just shotgunning your resume, which I don't always recommend. But if there's a lot of openings in your position that you're looking for, like let's say you're looking for, I'll just throw out a copywriting position, there are hundreds and thousands of positions online where that might be okay to just shotgun your resume out. But if you're looking for a position where there's only maybe 100 listings online, it's probably a good idea to tailor your resume, specifically if you've been in the military. And what I would do, I don't have military experience, but if I did have military experience, what I would do is look for companies who support the military and look on their job boards and see what they're hiring for. I would also probably put infantrymen. I probably would put that, and here's why. A few people I've worked with in the past and actually this has happened to me too, have gotten hired based on things that were not even related to the job. So maybe infantrymen might be a very, very small part of your work experience, but I would put it on there if you're applying to roles that support the military. For example, Amazon is a company that supports the military. They have a whole Warriors at Amazon initiative. Well, I guess Amazon's different because they don't even require a resume. But if you have a company that, like Amazon, that has a Warriors at Amazon initiative or something like that, and you put infantryman on there, a lot of times a recruiter who has been in the military in the past, they might relate to this. The reason I say that is because I know 2 or 3 people who got like product manager, program manager, creative project manager jobs, and they never had those positions before, but on their resume they put English teacher or they put like special ed teacher. And the reason they got those jobs is because the recruiter, this happened like 3 different times with those specific positions, the recruiter that was hiring for those positions was also a special ed teacher or English teacher or some sort of classroom teacher. And so if you can relate to the recruiter, that is the biggest play. So if you go to like recruitmilitary.com, which is a job board for people in the military, I'd imagine that a lot of the and I'm not positive on this, but I'd imagine at least some of the recruiters looking for positions have been in the military. So if you can relate to military experience on your resume, even though you don't want to make it all about the military, if you could just put a little bit of hints that you were in the military, I think that's a good sign. And so he's saying, should I put infantryman on an IT position? Well, I would say if you're applying to an IT role, make your entire resume about that IT role, basically like 85% of it, and then the other 15% put in little tidbits of how you can relate to the recruiter. So if you're an infantryman, say where you served, or say like who you deployed with, how many people you deployed with, and make this metrics based. So you could say I served for 30 hours in this country with 25 people to deploy a mission that yielded this result. And I don't know anything about the military, so I can't be very specific here, but this is how I would go about it. Like I said, I haven't been in the military. So to answer that first question, saying that you're an infantryman in the Army and you're applying for an IT job, in my opinion, is not useless. It's actually an identifier that can help you relate to someone else. Okay. Second question is, what are keywords and attributes and programs to look for to get your resume noticed? There's a few. So on LinkedIn, you probably want to, at least me, in my opinion, LinkedIn is probably the best place to look for jobs. It's a massive job board, and you can actually like connect with the people that are posting jobs there, especially if they have military experience or if they have experience that you're looking for, you can actually connect with the recruiter that's posting a job. So I'd say go to LinkedIn, optimize your profile and bio to be all about the position you're looking for. And I put bio and SEO. SEO just means search engine optimization. If you're applying for an IT position, your entire LinkedIn should be about IT. So in your bio, you want to say what you did in IT, what results you generated in IT, who you managed, if you manage people, what networks you use, what software you use. And then you also want to use an ATS. This is called an applicant tracking system. There are some ones that are free online. You could just Google free applicant tracking system and then resume. What you want to do is run your resume through this. This is what job recruiters will use to see if your resume matches their job description. You're going to copy the job description of the job you want and copy your resume. The applicant tracking system will see how well your resume matches up with the job description. Ideally, you want to use as many keywords in the job description as possible. So for example, if they mention certain software they use, or they mention certain skill sets or responsibilities of that job, you'd want to include that in the resume. And you could use this ATS to help you out. Like I said, it's called an applicant tracking system. There are tons of free ones that you can use online to match your resume to the job description you want to use. Keywords will include, and just to get more on this keywords, so if let's say you're applying to IT, you definitely want to include like Microsoft Office. I'm just going to write MS Office, Teams. You're probably going to want to use like some networking software or the hardware that you use, and whatever else you use to communicate with your team internally. The biggest thing here is you also want metrics. So you want to follow the XYZ method, which is I achieved what result, or I did what to, sorry, let me repeat that. XYZ is basically I did this using this channel or medium to achieve this result. Or you can reverse it saying I got this result using this channel or medium by doing this. So essentially just metrics and numbers are very, very important on the resume. And then third and final question is, how do you properly structure your resume without going overboard and start putting irrelevant information? You can actually download our free resume template. This is a template I've used to get six-figure roles and high five-figure roles in corporate, and they're all remote. You just go to https://diamo.la/resume, no .com or anything like that. It's just diamo.la/resume, or you can go to diamo.la/template. That's a free resume resource that is properly structured to help you get your job. But we can go over it very briefly right here. So at the top, you want your name. Right underneath that, contact, and like LinkedIn and stuff like this. LinkedIn, phone number, address, or city. Then you want your work experience. Education, if you have any. Skills. And that's it. You don't want to put more than that, in my opinion. You don't want a long summary at the top. You don't want to put all this stuff that's unnecessary. You just want to make it very straightforward. Make sure it's in a PDF format so it can be opened anywhere. Don't do a doc or docx because sometimes those won't translate the right way. So PDF is the way you want to go. And you want to make sure it's one page and it's not sloppy. Make it like 11 or 12 point font for most of the copy or the text on the resume, and then 14 point font for the titles, like the big headings. And you're going to want to keep it like Times New Roman or simple fonts that you can read. Ideally, I would just use this template right here and not really change anything on it except just fill in your experience. But that's really it. It's not by any means like a really complicated process. It's very simple. I will say this though, it does take a lot of times and reiterations of rewriting your resume. I've probably rewritten my resume like 20 or so times, probably more than that, but it does take a lot of reiterations to get it right. That being said, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below, and you can connect with us on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/diamo prima, I believe is the LinkedIn, or you can connect with me personally on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/EricDD. All right, take care. We will see you in the next video.
Diamo.